Chris Fidel should be logging on here.
Okay. And I know Paula was like, I think she's a maybe.
I just texted her to see.
Okay.
Paula, hey Todd, Paula texted us today and said that she was not going to be at the 6 p.m. I guess she meant tonight. I was thinking she meant tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. Hopefully Chris
Yes, he's logging on.
got.
Okay. Then we should be good once Mr. Bedell logs on. Oh, someone in the attendee. Yeah. It looks
that
like
Chris?
he's in the attendee list.
He didn't put the right password in.
I don't know what it does. It's weird. So Sean, could you? Okay. Thank you. Okay.
You on now?
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Taylor.
Okay. I'd like to call this Planning Commission Executive Meeting, April 7th, 2025 to order. Could we take a roll, please?
Taylor?
Here.
Ms. Hancock? Mr. Fagan?
Here.
Ms. Williams? Mr. Bedell?
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a
Have a
quorum.
call. Very good. All righty. I'd like to get an approval for the minute meetings of March 3rd. Has everybody had a chance to read those? Are there any corrections?
Look good to me.
If not, I'd like to have a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. 6-0. Okay, new business, consideration petition for a public hearing, PC 03 and 04-25, Jamie Santos.
Mr. Taylor, on that last vote, I think it was just 5. I think we only have 5
just
tonight.
5? Okay.
Yeah, just so the
Just having
record's
fun.
clear.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. PC 03 and 04-25 Jaime Santos is a request for a change of zoning from the NU non-urban district to the R3 residence district and a PEU in the R3 residence district. The proposed use is for single-family residences on a tract size of 4.23 acres located on the east side of Fine Road, southeast of Telegraph Road. As the commission may recall, this site is located in South County, and on your right of your screen, you'll see the site outlined in red. Here's a larger aerial of the site. As you can see to the north, up here in the R2 is the Shadow Point subdivision, and then there's a school and an MSD plant to the south. So this request came before the Planning Commission in early of 2025, requesting a change in zoning from the NU non-urban district to the R3 residence district, and then also for a planned environment unit procedure in the R3 residence district. The petitioner is proposing 14 single-family residences with lots ranging in size from 7,500 square feet to 12,553 square feet. At public hearing, the preliminary site development plan again showed 14 single-family homes ranging in size from 7,500 square feet to 12,553 square feet, a stormwater detention and water quality facilities located at the southeast corner of the parcel, sidewalks shown along both sides of the internal streets, and a single entrance to Fine Road. Prior to this meeting, staff did reach out to the petitioner, just asking based on public comments about the connectivity with the sidewalks and people walking to the school to the south. staff did reach out asking the petitioner about potentially doing a walking path from Shadow Point subdivision into the proposed subdivision. They do show that. It's kind of hard to see, and I apologize for that. But it goes connecting from this cul-de-sac in Shadow Point, running down, and then going down the side of Lot 9. So staff is recommending approval of this petition, noting that the R3 Residence District is compatible with surrounding residential developments. The PEU procedure is an appropriate mechanism as the site is challenged with some challenging terrain and a variety of proposed lot sizes. Some recommendations to the site development plan that staff is recommending is an average of 2 lot trees per lot, native grasses in lieu of turf grass located in the common ground, and then providing the access to the property to the east during construction at all times. And at this time, I ask for a motion.
Okay. You've heard the recommendation of the department. Do I have a motion for approval?
Approved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. At this time, are there any questions about this?
I have questions.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Arvetta. I'm sorry.
No
So
problem.
I got 3 questions. Can you guys hear me good enough?
We can.
Okay. So in attachment letter C, letter D, I'm sorry, my screen went out. You talk about, these were some recommendations by the staff. And it's talking about the site distance, right? It says access to this development from Fine Road and access to proposed public roads within this development shall be as directed by St. Louis County Department of Transportation Public Works, if required site distance cannot be provided at the access locations, acquisition of right-of-way, reconstruction of pavement, including correction to the vertical alignment and other offsite improvements may be required. Who's purchasing the right-of-way? Who would purchase the right-of-way?
So that is a comment that is made by the Department of Transportation Public Works that we incorporate into attachment C. So Mel, if you would like to jump in on if you know who would purchase that or who would need to dedicate.
I actually think it's
Jessica?
more it's a standard comment that we get, but I reading it that way, I'm not sure it actually, and I know it literally says acquisition of what right of way, but usually what happens is that the developer has to dedicate more right of way or sometimes record easements just for site distance. I don't think I've experienced a developer having to acquire additional right of way to ensure site distance. Usually I think that would be already probably have been identified when that driveway went earlier. But we can certainly ask the Department of Transportation to kind of clarify what that means and bring that information back to you before the commission votes to forward a recommendation to the council, because I agree it's not it's not what we're expecting, but I do think it's important for all
And
of
it's
us to
worded,
understand
it's
what that
worded
means.
kind of clumsy. I mean,
Yeah.
it says if required site distance cannot be provided at the access locations, acquisition of right of way,
Right.
reconstruction of pavement. It's just kind of worded clumsy.
Yeah, no, we can certainly get some clarification on
Okay.
what that means generally and what that might mean for this specific development.
Okay, and then letter E in the same attachment, provide a street stub study. How often are you guys seeing this requirement or requiring these street stub studies? That's hard to say, stub studies.
Excuse me. Not terribly often, honestly. In this sort of Oakville area, there are quite a number of stub streets. I similarly, I don't know exactly what a street stub study looks like, but I know that that is the language that CoDOT, County Department of Transportation and Public Works, includes when there is a proposal for right of way to terminate at the property line like this. But similarly, I don't know what that actual study entails because it is what county transportation requires of them. But given that connectivity to future development, existing development is of interest to the commission, similarly, we can get more information on what that really looks like.
Well, it may not be of interest to the others. I'm just
No,
curious. Because
sure.
I'm, I'm reading these things. I do look
Mhm.
at these notes. And then the monument entrance sign, it says an entrance sign, shall be monument in style, shall. So are there other entrance signs, other types that are allowed?
Sometimes subdivisions, Flower and Fendler is a good example. I don't know if you were on the commission at that time, Miss Williams, but they actually proposed like a regular, like a decorative pole that would go out and have like a hanging sign. But monument in style is typically the way that the commission has previously gone with subdivision signs. And it just looks a little bit nicer and gives a little bit more of a presence and just has to be used with, better materials, stuff like that.
Okay,
What I would just add to that is that that's another sort of, a lot of the times when we mean monument in style in a prescriptive way like that, we mean in lieu of a taller freestanding sign on a pole, which you would expect more with a non-residential development. The zoning ordinance already precludes subdivisions from having quite tall subdivision entrance signs, but this way we can really tie them down to a shorter, more solid sign at this location. But to Gretchen's point, the alternative for a subdivision development would be a sort of, it would still be a short sign. It would never exceed 8 feet in height. But the design, like she said, where it's sort of a sign on a pole would not be what we consider a monument sign. But I believe that this is in line with what the petitioners proposed. So it locks them, the intent of that is to lock them into what they've proposed.
okay. All right, those are all my questions.
I appreciate those questions.
Mhm.
With the questions that are read at hand, do we want to hold this until our next meeting next week? So you can get some answers back from those,
What I
Right.
would say is I'm not confident I would get
and answer that quick.
I'm not confident I would get it that quickly, but like I mentioned before, the commission could vote to approve this, and then we bring that information to you before you vote to forward it to the council, or the commission can hold it.
Okay,
I just don't know if we'd have that information by next week,
that's
Very
fine.
good.
I like that option. Yeah.
Okay.
where we bring the information back to you before you vote on the letter.
Before it gets forwarded to the city council.
Okay, yeah, we can certainly do that.
Or county
Great.
council, I'm sorry. I said city council, county council. Yeah.
Keith, I'd like to amend my motion to include that provision.
Okay, and who do we have? So we have amendment on the motion to make sure that this is not be sent to the county council until after we review the road department's interpretation of what they sent us. Okay, so that was the first mover. Who's the second mover? Can we have a second on that then?
Second on that.
Okay.
Keith.
So
Very
we
good.
will prepare a cover memo with that information to go on top of the letter of recommendation when we bring it to you at I anticipate the May executive.
So we have a first and a second there. And I have a motion for, I've got a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays, ayes have that, and we'll move on to our next petition here. PC 09 and 04-25 information report. Would be PC 0625 Harmony Towers.
PC 06-25 Harmony Towers is a request for a conditional use permit in the R5 Residence District for a tract size of 2.42 acres. It's located on the south of the southern terminus of Peace Drive, east of Russet Drive, and north of the eastern terminus of Cranberry Lane. As the commission may recall, this site is located in North County, and on your right you can see the site outlined in red. On this larger aerial of the site, you can see the area that the cell tower is proposed to be in that purple box. And as you can see, we're along Highway 70. So this request came before the Planning Commission for a conditional use permit in the R5 Residence District to permit a 100-foot tall monopole telecommunication tower, including a lightning rod in that height. The tower would be co-located by 3 carriers. At the public hearing, the Planning Commission saw this preliminary site development plan. It would include a 100-foot monopole telecommunications tower, including the height of the lightning rod. The lease area is 3,600 square feet. There's also a 6-foot tall chain link fence surrounding the lease area, and access to the site would be via Peace Drive. In addition, the petitioner noted that 24 new trees surrounding the lease area would be planted. So here is just another page of the preliminary site development plan, just zooming in a little bit closer on the proposed monopole tower. Again, including the lightning rod, the entirety of the tower would be 100 feet. And then the 3 little rectangular boxes would be areas for future carriers and the proposed carrier to put their equipment. So staff is recommending approval. Conditional use permits are on a 4-pronged test, making sure that it's operated in a manner that is not detrimental to the permitted developments and uses in the district. It can be developed and operated in a manner that is visually compatible with the permitted uses in the surrounding area. It is deemed essential or desirable to preserve and promote the public health, safety, and general welfare of St. Louis County, and it is consistent with good planning practice. Staff has noted that the proposed use would not be a detriment to the public health, safety, or general welfare of those in the surrounding areas due to the low intensity of the nature and scale of this proposed use. A telecommunications tower in the R5 Residence District is consistent with good planning practices, as the technology must be dispersed throughout an area to provide the service. Also, the location of the tower along I-70 will provide service to the highway travelers. And then staff is recommending that some revisions to the site development plan, noting that all plantings shall be Missouri native. Parking shall be as per section 1003.165 off-street parking and loading regulations of the St. Louis County zoning ordinance, and no barbed wire is permitted on the site. And at this time, I ask for a motion.
For the motion by the department, do I have recommendation? I'm sorry, recommendation of the department. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second? Do I have a
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Are there any questions before we take a vote here? None? All right. Yeah, go ahead, Todd. Did you have a question? Okay.
No,
Okay, we're gonna.
no, no
first
question.
and a-
Sorry, I'm good.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Take a vote on that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Ayes? Ayes have it. And we've got old business not ready for action. And for the good of the order, Irvetta Williams has received an award from the North County Inc., and it was for diversity, equity, and inclusion leadership. Congratulations, Irvetta.
The program is May the 9th, the ceremony.
Yeah, Jacob and I are going to try to go.
Very good.
Oh, I would love to see you guys
Yeah.
there. I have some family and just business colleagues from over the years. Many years I've been working, and it's quite an honor. It's been kind of interesting as I'm releasing this information and telling people, because DEI has been under such attack, right? So happy that North County Inc. still is moving forward with this particular award. So I have a few words I'm going to say in my acceptance speech.
I love that.
So that's on
Congratulations.
May the 9th. It's a breakfast leadership awards program. It's at the Marriott Hotel at the airport. It's about 500 or 600 people show up. It's a big event.
Jacob and I, it was huge.
Yeah,
It was
it's
very
a
cool.
big event.
Yeah. Do you know who nominated you?
I do. What's kind of interesting is they nominated me for another category,
Oh,
or public servant category, because I worked in municipal government and did a lot of things with the 24/1 as a
Mhm.
manager of government affairs and working with all those mayors and elected officials. And now I'm on the planning commission. And so they nominated me for a different category. And it's about 6 people getting that
Whoa.
award, public servant, but I'm the only one getting the DEI. So North County Inc., their evaluators actually moved me into a different category.
Well, that's very cool.
Mhm.
You deserve to be recognized, and we're proud that you're in this with us so that we can, hold you up and
Oh,
shine a
great.
light on you.
I would love to see some of you guys there. So go
that's the goal.
on North County Inc.'s website if you want to purchase a ticket.
Once again, congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Roberta.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. And I think that's all we have, so I'd like to move for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And we are adjourned, and we will see you all next Monday on April the 14th.
In
And then it
person.
would be
In
at
person.
7 PM. Are we gonna have an earlier meeting, or are we gonna do an executive meeting afterwards?
We are going to schedule the nominating committee for before, so I believe that would leave the executive session best at the end, if that is okay with the commission.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So what
There shouldn't
time
be
do we
terribly
arrive?
many. If you're on the nominating committee, I think we'll set it for 6:45. And then the public hearing at 7.
And
All
we
right.
have 3 new planners
Oh.
starting next week who will be at public hearing.
Oh,
Yes, thank you
nice.
for saying
Good.
that, Abby. We've actually assigned 2 of
2
The
of them will
petitions
have
to them?
petitions. I don't know if they're going to present them or if I'm going to do it, but
We'll
they'll be
see.
there.
Yeah, they will be there. Thank you for saying that. I almost forgot. So,
Wow,
but yeah,
3 new planners. That's great.
yeah.
Our nominating committee being Todd and Sandy and Paula will be there at 6:45, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
And-
everybody else at 7.
Mhm.
Or 5 till. Can we come in there at 6:40, 6:55?
I mean,
I will.
generally you could.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
Maybe a little earlier. I think will the nominating
Chris, the
committee
meeting's
take
actually
about
at
5
6 for
minutes?
you.
Huh?
The
What
no-
time
the
now?
nominating committee should be very short. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so we'll all be there at 6:50 then.
Yes. We'll be
Okay.
ready.
Thank you.
So Mel, before you log off and everyone else, you don't have to stay on. I just have one more general, actually it's a comment. Is the meeting adjourned?
Yes. the
Meeting's
meeting's
adjourned.
adjourned.
We can all.
Okay, the meeting's adjourned. So
I have
today,
one
when
question. Did everybody survive